Listen, over the past month, thousands of photographs and documents have been released from the Epstein investigation. Thousands. But here's what you need to know. The mainstream media isn't showing you most of it.
There is a lot of material in here that you're not going to see reported on the mainstream everyday nightly news.
That's right. They're actively choosing not to report it.
They're not going to report on all the intricate details, but if you're looking for the right things throughout the Epstein files, you're going to find some answers.
But we've gone through it. We've seen it. And what we found will make you understand exactly why they're keeping it hidden.
If you don't believe that there's a cover-up in action here, you're dense.
Because the people in these photos, the celebrities, the politicians, the bankers, they're powerful, and the media protects them. Today, we're showing you what they refuse to show you. When the Epstein files dropped in December, everyone expected a media blitz, investigation specials, primetime exposés, wall-to-wall coverage of the photographs. Instead, silence. Sure, the mainstream media reported on the narrative. They talked about the investigation. They mentioned a few familiar names, mostly old Clinton-era stories they could safely rehash without threatening anyone currently in power. But the actual photographs, the undeniable visual evidence of who was involved, when they were involved, and what they were doing, that's been buried.
As of right now, we have not received any new Epstein files in approximately a month. That's completely illegal. Pam Bondi, the FBI, DOJ, they were supposed to release every file from the investigation into Epstein back in December before Christmas.
Think about that. We're talking about thousands of photos that have never been analyzed on CNN, never been broken down on MSNBC, never been discussed on the networks that claim to be in pursuit of truth.
So every second of every minute of every hour of every day that they are not releasing those files, they are breaking the law.
This isn't incompetence. This is intentional, and the photographs prove why. Let's start with the obvious. These aren't blurry surveillance photos. These aren't grainy security footage. These are high-resolution photographs taken directly from Epstein's personal albums. Professional quality. Taken at his properties, on his planes, at his private island. And they show everyone.
Evidence of Epstein with celebrities, Epstein at various locations, and yeah, Ghislaine. It's really, really disturbing, really frightening stuff.
David Copperfield, caught on camera in a bathrobe, physically intimate with Ghislaine Maxwell. Now, David Copperfield has a documented history with accusers. Multiple women have come forward, but you won't see this photo on the news.
He was very good friends with Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. As you can see here, he's literally hugging Ghislaine wearing bathrobes.
Why isn't David Copperfield's name trending? Why isn't this photograph in every major outlet? Because once you pull that thread, the whole sweater unravels. Bill Clinton is in these files constantly. Not once, not twice. Dozens of photographs. Clinton on planes. Clinton at dinners. Clinton in hot tubs with individuals whose faces are redacted, which means they're likely victims.
It's Clinton, and this girl's face is redacted. It's Clinton here in the pool with Ghislaine and who we can assume is a victim.
The mainstream media knows this exists. They've seen the files. But where's the investigative breakdown? Where's the deep dive? Instead, they focus on celebrity gossip or historical allegations they can safely distance from anyone currently relevant. And then there's the redactions. Hundreds of pages, completely blacked out. Photographs of landscapes. Photographs of what appear to be ordinary settings, completely redacted. Why?
But why redacted? Why are they redacting what I can assume are landscape shots? I don't know. And there's no context.
Because behind those redactions are names. Names of people who are still in power. Names of people who are still connected. Names that mainstream media outlets have advertisers, political ties, and relationships with. But here's where it gets darker. Here's the connection that no mainstream outlet has touched. In December, a photograph emerged from the files. It shows a victim, a real victim, dressed in a snow-white costume inside Epstein's Manhattan mansion. Not at a theme park, not at a Halloween party. Inside his home.
The victim wearing a Disney princess costume, and looking at the image, it appears to have been taken inside of Epstein's Manhattan mansion, which is obviously not a good look. It's pretty damning.
The emails connected to this photo are worse. An email dated 2010. Someone writes to Epstein, "The Snow White was twice as soon as she put her costume. As soon as this victim put on the costume, the abuse started."
The Snow White was twice as soon as she put her costume. Smiley, smiley. Sent in 2010.
But there's more. Another email. Epstein is directly coaching someone into wearing this costume.
Ratner is going to film a big movie, Snow White. I would love to take photos of you in a Snow White costume. You can get it from the costume store.
Get it from the costume store. He's not just passively involved, he's orchestrating it, he's directing it. And then, and this is critical, emails emerge between Epstein and a man named Jess Staley. Jess Staley. The name probably means nothing to you. It should. Staley was a banker, not just any banker. He was the chief executive of Barclays Bank. He spent 34 years at JP Morgan's investment bank, where Epstein maintained accounts. For years, Staley was Epstein's protector at the highest levels of finance.
Staley was Epstein's chief defender at JP Morgan, helping Epstein maintain accounts at the firm amid internal concerns that Epstein was using the accounts for illicit activities.
But here's the email that connects him to Snow White. Epstein messages Staley. Maybe they're tracking you. That was fun. Say hi to Snow White. Staley responds, that was fun. Then Epstein asks, what character would you like next?
Character would you like next? And, obviously the word next implies that there was a start, like next up. I mean, you don't have a next without a beginning. You have to have a beginning and then a next. So, what character would you like next? Beauty and the Beast. And Epstein has that joke, one half is available or whatever. Then you have this painting by Epstein victim Maria Farmer.
Think about that wording. Next implies there was a first, there was a start, there was a victim dressed as Snow White, and they're already asking what character comes next. How is this not the lead story? How is this not on every network? Because Jess Staley is connected to power. He's connected to institutions, and institutions protect their own. But there's visual evidence of this connection that mainstream media refuses to discuss. Maria Farmer, an Epstein survivor, painted her trauma. She created artwork depicting the abuse she and other victims endured. In one painting, she depicted Snow White in bed, and the man depicted in that painting, according to the visual reference, it appears to be Jess Staley.
She actually sent some of these into the FBI, trying to raise the alarm. But who is this guy? As you can see here, she painted on JP Morgan Chase, money to sell victims to Epstein and associates friends.
This is an Epstein survivor's artistic testimony, visual evidence, direct accusation through art. And no major outlet has reported on the connection between this painting, the Snow White costume victim, and Jess Staley's emails.
Maria Farmer, who actually painted this guy into an image depicting this dude shushing what looks to be a victim in his underwear with roses, and the victim is wearing a Snow White costume. And that appears to be a painting of Jess Staley based on this reference photo.
Why? Because Jess Staley isn't some low-level operative. He's a mainstream figure. He's connected to institutions, he's connected to networks, and the media knows that touching this story means touching those institutions. This isn't just about Staley. This is a pattern. Look at the photographs. Over 1,200 emails between Staley and Epstein. But how many times has Staley's name appeared in mainstream coverage of these files? Minimal. Buried. Treated as a footnote rather than what he actually is. A co-conspirator with documented ties to victims.
Jess Staley has been accused of victims and being a major part of Epstein's operation. But still, no answers. Jess Staley is a free man. He's walking around today. Nothing has happened to him.
Look at the photographs of celebrities. Keith Richards, Mick Jagger. They're in these photos, not once, multiple times, on planes, at dinners, at private events. Where's the scrutiny? Where's the accountability? Kevin Spacey, a man with documented accusers, including someone who alleges assault when they were 14 years old. He's photographed with Epstein and Clinton. Mainstream media, quiet. Michael Jackson, multiple documented cases, an entire HBO documentary about allegations. He's in these files, at Epstein's home, with Ghislaine Maxwell, and the narrative doesn't shift because the media already knew this and chose not to emphasize it.
Michael Jackson, whether you love him or you hate him, I don't care. He looks creepy as hell in this picture. He looks like a ventriloquist dummy.
Why is the mainstream media curating this? Why are they protecting certain narratives? Because these photographs don't support the official story. The official story is Epstein was a lone predator. Ghislaine Maxwell was his accomplice. They're in prison. Case closed. Justice served. The photographs tell a different story. They show an entire ecosystem. Celebrities, politicians, bankers, all connected, all aware, all complicit or involved in some way.
Clearly, we know what's depicted in the photographs, but what do the pictures as a whole seem to say? Well, first of all, we can obviously say definitively that Epstein, we knew this, but Epstein had a very, very wide social and business portfolio.
And if you acknowledge that ecosystem, you have to ask uncomfortable questions about institutions, about media outlets' own connections, about why certain stories are buried while others are amplified. Then there are the redactions, hundreds of them. In the Epstein files, when photographs are redacted, there's supposedly a legal reason. They're supposed to protect victims or shield ongoing investigations. But the redactions don't make sense.
Once again, with these files, I can't tell you why these files were redacted.
Landscape photographs, outdoor shots, completely blacked out. Why? Who are they protecting? And the selective release strategy? That's intentional too. The government and the media know exactly which files contain the most damaging information. They know which photographs would destroy reputations, and they're strategically dripping them out or not releasing them at all based on political calculation.
If you don't believe that there's a cover-up in action here, you're dense.
The mainstream media participates in this cover-up because they benefit from it. They have relationships with people in these photographs. They have advertisers and political affiliations they need to protect. They have their own institutional credibility at stake. So instead of asking the hard questions, who is Jess Staley? Why is he still free? Why hasn't there been a serious investigation into his connections to victims? They talk about redacted names. They discuss historical allegations. They move on. The photographs remain unseen by the masses. The connections remain unreported. The truth remains buried.
Report on all the intricate details, but if you're looking for the right things throughout the Epstein files, you're going to find some answers, and answers that they don't really want to tell you about.
The answers are there, in the photographs, in the emails, in the connections. But you won't find them on mainstream news, because mainstream news is part of the system designed to keep you from seeing them. The photographs exist. The evidence exists. The connections exist. Jess Staley is walking free. The victims are still waiting for justice. And the media's complicity in keeping these images hidden is itself a crime.
So, I don't know, but I'm going to stay on top of this story. You guys know this is like my, 20th Epstein video. There are plenty more coming.
This is about what they're not showing you. This is about what the mainstream media refuses to report. This is about photographs that document an entire ecosystem of abuse and the deliberate choice to keep those photographs from public view. That should infuriate you, and it should motivate you to seek the truth they're hiding. The Epstein files are still out there. The photographs are documented. The connections are real, and mainstream media will never show you.